Welcome to SakuraCon 2012's Todd Haberkorn panel. Warning, there is a lot of fangirl squealing, including my own. Obviously. Luckily, thanks to my vidcam, it is not obnoxious. The cam will shake due to lack of tripod, but again, luckily, I have a good camera. Enjoy!
Hi, hello. Nice to see you. Hi, everybody. Okay, Happy Easter. To celebrate, I brought 15 bunnies that we will sacrifice. If you're into that. If you're not, look away. It is awesome to see you guys. Thank you for getting up so early this morning and coming here. I know it's been a rough, long weekend of conventures and excitement and fun and Pike Place stuff and original Starbucks stuff and all that kind of stuff. So, yes. This was a very interesting con for me because my parents came. And it was the first convention they'd ever been to. It only took 80 to. But it was a lot of fun. They had no concept of what conventions were, and as my stepfather put it, it is like a Ren fair on acid. And he loved it, and he wants to come back, and he wants to see concerts, etc. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Todd Haberkorn, and some of the roles that you hopefully know are Italy and Italia. Hikaru from Oron High School host. Death the Kid and Soul Eater. Very symmetrical. Natsu and Fairy Tale. Camera Row and Sergeant Frog. Alan and D. Gray Man. All that good stuff. So, Edward Elric and Full Metal Alchemist. The one that got away. Ah! But no, I've had a lot of fun voice acting. It wasn't always what I did. When I was, let's see. I'm trying to think of how it all got started. So it was an audition like any other. People are like, how did you get rocking? And well, it was an audition. And so my agent set up the audition and I just went and they didn't hate it and they let me stay. And so I was like, okay, we'll keep doing it. Before then I started out on stage and then went to film and kept doing that and television and commercials and things like that. And I still do that to this day when they'll let me. And now I voice cartoons and animate video games and stuff like that and hope that it grows and grows. Like Lavi's Big Hammer. Yeah! So let's see, I did some stage. I didn't know that voice acting would be an option. I didn't know that this would happen. I didn't know, you can never see stuff that's going to happen to you, and I'm very grateful that it has. And grateful for everything that's come my way because I know how difficult it is, and it continues to be difficult every single day because you're your own boss. How hard are your employees going to work that day? Depends. How hard do you want to work that day? So, I mean, it's tricky stuff. And so, you know, to be able to do something and travel and meet fans and to have nice folks like yourself be fans is a true honor, and I truly feel blessed for that. So voice acting, do that. What did I wanted to? I think when I was a little kid, I wanted to be a scientist or a cop, and I didn't pass the cop test because I was 7, and they don't really like cops that are 7 when you really can't handle a billy club at that age. It was interesting to see my mother's reactions to stuff going on because she's a doctor and she has like she goes to work from 9 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon, and then that's her day. She has an office and she does all that kind of stuff, whereas I travel and go everywhere and I don't know what's going to happen next week. I don't know what's going to happen the next week after that. And so I just kind of go with the flow and hope that good things happen. I kind of try to use the Force in a way, I guess. If you were to tell Yoda's like, hey, what's going to happen to me next week? Yoda's like, do not know, I do. And so that's the best you've got for me. You don't know what's going to happen. So that's pretty much my existence. And we just kind of float along nomadically and hope something good happens. Much like the Antonio Banderas bee. You know, see a little commercial where he's the voice of the bee. Goes around and talks about medicine. kind of floating around from flower to flower, and I hope stuff happens. A lot of people ask me, they say, what did you take in college? What degree, what voice acting school should I go to? There isn't a legitimate university for voice acting. It's more about getting acting under your belt, and like I said, I had no clue this was gonna happen. I had a theater company. I was doing theater and stuff like that, and doing all sorts of odd jobs before, kind of getting to this point. I think my very first job was when I was 16 years old, and I was living in South Carolina. Lived everywhere. South Carolina was definitely the smallest place. Had like 3,000 people. So you could fit, the town that I lived in, you could fit like 7 of those inside this con. That's how small it was. And my mom dropped me off at the corner in town, the corner. And I went to every job, and I turned in an application at every single job. My very first job was like a grocer, like I'm 16 years old, so I'm bagging groceries and bringing people up and stuff. Hated it. Oh, I hated it. God, an hour passed. I'm like, it's only been an hour? I thought it's been 10. But when I'm on film sets, 13 hours will pass, and it only feels like 13 hours, but it feels like 7, 5, 6, a good breezy 6 or 7 hours. So I was like, hey, you know what? I don't hate this. I kind of like this. So let's keep doing it. It's funny because when you see reality television, you see people that are plucked out of obscurity, and they're thrust on the center stage, and they blow up, and they have all this fame, all this excitement. That happens right away, and a lot of them don't know how to handle it, deal with it. Like a lot of athletes that go from playing ball to all of a sudden now they're making $20 million a year, and they get caught up in drugs and bringing guns to clubs and going to jail and running out of money and owing their baby mama $1 million and things like that. So there's something to be said for building up your equity, like paying your dues. There are no dues to pay in this industry in a way, because one day you could be sitting there playing GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64, and the next day you're Justin Bieber getting a $100,000 car for your 18th birthday.
Oh my God.
I don't understand that. I'm still waiting for my $100,000 car. If any of you in this room have it, now's the time to give it up. But so I'm happy to be where I'm at. I hope it continues. There's a lot of stuff going on. For every audition that I get, there's 10 that I don't. So that's what you also have to realize, is there's a lot of rejection in this business. But I was used to it because I've been rejected by a lot of women I've asked out on dates. Oh, in every way imaginable. Nice, mean, cleverly. Ways they thought were clever that weren't clever. The best rejection, well, there's no good rejection. The best rejection was I was in like 8th grade, I think. And so I was working, I had my bowl haircut, a little tubby Asian boy coming over. Her name was Casey. I remember her name. She was a blonde-headed girl, a banshee now. But, and so we were working on a worksheet together, and I wrote in an extra question on the bottom. Number 9, will you go out with me? And so I put the sheet down, and I kind of cover that question up, and I'm like, hey, question number 1, okay, good. Question number 2, okay, yeah, B, okay, so you do. Question number 3, okay, 3 plus 3, great. 3 plus 3 in 8th grade. It's an American education. I'm a little slower here. And so, I go, well, there's one more question, and I move my arm, and I go, boom, and I just let her read it, and she goes, oh, no. So,
sad.
I went home and ate a box of Twinkies, and I felt bad. But, I wish she did at the time, but thank you. That's okay. I wish. That is so not the case. But anyway, so if you guys, I want to answer any lovely questions you may have, and I'll be happy to go down and take them and answer them. Hey! All right, little guy, what's your question? What's your name? Benji. Right on. What's your question?
I never finished reading the Sergeant Frog, so I would like to know what happens at the end.
At the end of Sergeant Frog, you never finished reading. Well, I'll tell you what, thank you for, who's your favorite frog?
Carabao?
Good answer. Well, Benji, I tell you what happens at the end of Sergeant Frog is I don't know, because there are 330-something episodes. Fortunately, we dubbed 83 of them. I would love to dub more, but the show is it's a kooky show. Not a lot of people love it. A lot of people don't know what it is, and it's those people that don't know what it is that don't check it out, because they're like I was when I was in an audition for it. When I auditioned for Keroro, the first thing I said was, "What does a frog sound like?" I had no clue. So then I was like, "Okay, let's see if this will do it." Alien frog, I bet he kind of sounds like this, and let's just see what they think. So, I hope to finish it, Benji, and then when I find out the answer, I'm going to tell you the answer. Yes. Yes.
My favorite question.
Yes.
Rayman.
Thank you.
My second favorite character is Ling Get the kid from
Soul Leader.
Soul Leader.
Yeah.
And the last one, we all know my favorite is Italy.
But of course, I mean, it's a Sunday morning, and I've already had breakfast, and I had some good canola, but the thing that I really wanted was pasta! All right, yes. Come here. All right, it's a good question. Okay, let's see. Yes, colorful one. What is your question?
I'll stand up.
That sounds good.
What was your most favorite part or experience about being a voice actor?
My most favorite part about being a voice actor, getting to do what I love is a big one. A lot of people, that's kind of like a generic, people are like, oh, you're doing what you love, and that kind of falls into this, I've heard that before, but there really is a difference. It's kind of like someone saying, oh, you don't know what love is like until you have your own child. And you can say, oh, I do know because I love my nephews and my nieces, but it's different. When you have a kid, it's like, oh, it's like in Zelda, you unlock the 7th dungeon. Oh, there's an extra love dungeon there. I will, there's no specific, you can't sum up what the best part about the voiceover, I guess, but for me, one of the best parts was getting to meet my heroes. So when I met Mark Hamill, that was spectacular. I mean, this is Luke Skywalker. He's the voice of the Joker. He's an incredible voice actor. And meeting him was amazing. It was really, because it happened by accident. I'm standing back at a convention waiting to go out and sign, and then I look to my right, and there is the little boy from Tatooine. All grown up, being Pain in Batman's side, eating a donut. And I went up to him and I said, hello. And Troy Baker, you guys know who Troy Baker is? He told me, he goes, Mark Hamill and I are tight. We are good friends. We recorded Arkham City together. Troy Baker is Two-Face and Robin and Nightwing. And they recorded Arkham City together. So I went up to Mark Hamill and I said, Mark, I know you through Troy Baker. And he goes, who? And in my head I'm going, Troy, S.O.B. And so I tried again, I'm like, Troy Baker, he was Two-Face in Arkham City. He goes, who? And so I had to just melt into my little